Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight and allowing us to be a voice along your path. This is where questions become connections, and we all have a chance to make our industry a better place. My name is Beth Hathoot, and this is Notary Stars General Mentorship. Today is Monday, October 2nd, 2023. Woohoo, it's October. We're so happy you could join us here today because you'll be witnessing one very lucky notary win a cool $1,000 bill today. Please remember, if you're driving, this is my PSA, guys. This meeting is recorded, and we would prefer, if you're watching live or even watching the replay while you're in your vehicle, please remain off camera and keep your eyes on the road. We care about your well-being. You can always come back to our replays on our YouTube channel anytime you wish. And if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get notified when we post fresh new content each week. Ronnie should be posting the link in the chat so that you can subscribe today if you'd like. This mentorship is held every week at the same time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's all about you, our nationwide notary community. So we hope you'll turn on your cameras, bring a question, or share something you know with your colleagues here today. All you have to do is virtually raise your hand to get into queue. Just use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. And don't be timid or shy, because we want to hear from you. And honestly, it is so much easier to talk when we can see your smiling faces rather than that static tile on the screen. So please turn your cameras on as well. And don't forget, we have a jot form that you can access to submit questions as you think of them that we'll answer on the air. We might not get to all of them each week, so we will reply via email. The earlier you get your questions submitted, the better chance you have of getting them answered, as we'll take them in the order received, guys. And I think we do have a few left over from last week as well. So don't wait an hour before the session unless it's okay to have your answer delayed until the next session. Okay. Ronnie, I don't think we have any other announcements for today. So if you want to kick us off with our little micro topics, get our brains fired up here.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say, we are moving into that digital age. And if those of you, even in California, that say Ron's not coming, it's coming now. They made legislation on September 30th. I'm sure you guys have seen the California Independent League of Notaries email that went out. Still not going to be till 2030, but you got a lot of practice now to turn on those cameras. I just want to say, I'm posting in the chat, you might see in the background a lot of these beautiful lit up Notary Stars. It just makes my heart sing to see them. It's the unofficial, first official merchandise of Notary Stars. I just posted in the link where you can buy one. We would prefer that gold color, but if you have a different take on it, blue is a good second because of our blue and gold, which if you guys didn't know was my high school colors. How Notary Stars got blue and gold. Unlimited ink is also blue and gold. But it warms my heart to see all of those. So thank you guys for showing support and lighting them up. And for those of you that digitally edited them into your background screens, I love seeing that too. That takes just as much work and effort. But I'm going to start off with a micro topic today. I'm going to make this really short. I tried to get it into mentorship last week. And this is something that's kind of really important for notaries, okay? I know you guys get orders all the time, okay? You're getting orders on SnapDoc, Signing Order, ZigSig. There's other platforms out there. To this day, and I've been saying it for years, notaries respond when they see a lower rate without checking what they're responding to first. Just because it says $40 or $50, and I see the same notaries complaining about this on the internet as well. Before you screenshot and complain, make sure you know what you're screenshotting and complaining about. Just this week, I sent a Notary Star an order for, I think it was $65. It was an 8-page seller file. Okay. It was literally across the street. They responded with 3 times the amount because they thought it was going to be a buyer file. Had it not been me, they would have gotten a blacklist with a nasty comment because it's literally across the street. And 8 pages. You have to read those orders, and I know we're all fighting for them, but luckily it was me where I could pick up the phone and say, hey, did you realize what you're responding to? They're like, no. I'm very forgiving with those things because I know a lot of notaries don't know, but you need to know what you're responding to. If you don't know and you don't want to do it, just simply decline the offer. Because everyone who has SnapDoc Zig signing order all have access to your profile to stop working with you through something called a blacklist. And those blacklist marks add up to you not working. And you can be one of the notaries that say, I don't care. But those notaries are also the same notaries that call me going, Ronnie, I'm not getting any signing offers. And so check what you're responding to and always say respectfully for the distance and that's write out what you can in the character text that they give you. It is okay to counter offer. If you're going a great distance, absolutely. If it's end of month and there's a lot of signings out there and you can work it in, take that money, honey, as they would say, but be careful throughout the month when you are responding because you never know who is on the other end of those responses. Some of them will say blacklist and they'll just put too pricey for me or ridiculous, and I see these ridiculous. It was 2 pages across the street. You don't want to become that notary because it adds up over time. So that was my macro topic to kick off. And I know that we already have one hand raised. Ms. Beth, while you queue up what we're going to answer from the job form, why don't we go ahead and take a question from Kelly since she went ahead and raised that hand. Miss Kelly out of Pennsylvania.
Hi, Ronnie. Hi, everybody. I have 2 questions. The first one is, how typical is it for a seller not to have seen their settlement statement prior to closing? I'm a newer agent, but my last few hadn't laid an eye on their settlement statement.
Very typical. It is, okay. It is extremely typical. And actually, the settlement statement can change up to the day of closing. This is something that we kind of teach here at Notary Stars. A lot of times, if they have problems with the settlement statement, you shouldn't stop the signing. You should be able to let them know if you're not comfortable with the settlement statement, you don't have to sign it because they can electronically sign that one document in 99.9% of the cases.
Okay.
And you of course you want to go through your channels of hiring to put that in, but you should never stop a signing because of a settlement statement. You can always put that document aside if they don't want to sign. Always contact your assigning party and say, hey, they're not wanting to sign, but you can continue the signing because they can't record a seller file without the settlement statement. So you can confidently say, you're probably going to be able to e-sign this when they get it to your liking, but most of the time they haven't. And all settlement statements generally have estimated across it or somewhere on there. So it's estimated of what they're going to do at closing.
Yeah, luckily I've been able to review it to their satisfaction and didn't have to halt, but I was just curious.
Well, Kelly,
yes.
You also sent in a jot form question that we can talk about too, but let me make a quick comment on your settlement statement. The signer will never see a settlement statement prior to the closing, never. What they do see is the closing disclosure, but you as a new agent need to understand that the closing disclosure is created by the lender. The settlement statement is created by the title company. So
right.
The closing disclosure, they are supposed to see 3 days minimum before we get to the table. Sometimes they don't see it. Sometimes it's a phone call where the lender goes over those numbers with them. So they aren't really connecting the dots when you ask them if they've seen that settlement statement. So, but we always teach you never to skip over the closing disclosure, even if when you sit down at the table and you start with that document, even if they say, I've already seen this. That's great, Mr. Signer. Let's make sure I have the right one. Because invariably what happens is they're asking you questions on what's my total loan amount? When's my first payment due? How much is my total payment? And you're thinking to yourself, if you would have let me go over the closing disclosure with you, all of that info is right there. So settlement statement, they will have never seen. Closing disclosure, by law, they should have seen 3 days minimum before you get there. Doesn't always happen that way, or sometimes they don't associate that because they're doing it verbally over the phone with their lender. Does that help?
Yeah, and in my case, these have all been seller packages, so there was no CD in any of them. So.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. And my second question is, what is the recognition process once we have completed the 150 hours of Notary Stars training? Do we get a certificate or a badge or something like that?
So every Notary Star actually gets a badge within their profile, but Notary Stars is not a certification course. We are a continuing education course.
Right.
And the idea behind Notary Stars is to not throw up 60 questions and say this is the end of your journey as a signing agent. It's always just the beginning. Every day is a new beginning. Even processing 3,000 transactions a month at unlimited ink. Travis and I have a conversation once or twice a week where we're like, wow, this is a new one. We consider ourselves a continuing education course, so we can bring everything to the table and kind of stay fresh as a signing agent.
Mm-hmm.
It is like riding a bike. You can put it down for a little while and come back to it. But it's also something that you have to kind of keep the gears turning on. So Notary Stars doesn't really offer a certification per se, from the date that you leave. If you downgrade at any point, we always say that keeps you on our list for a year. Because I feel personally, you would need to come back and refresh at some point to kind of stay up to date on what's current. And Miss Beth works her little booty off, keeping our course up to date, refilming, constantly adding new material. And I always try to guide the team on what we need, but Miss Beth has been really great this year about making sure everything stays fresh. So I would not say that to look for a certification or expect a test, because the test is really out in the field with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you're starting to see things change, and at that point you downgrade it, come back, because we'll probably be on top of it for you.
Yeah, definitely CE for sure. And I feel so much more confident having looked at all of the training videos. So
thank you. Miss Beth, you mentioned she wrote in, and actually she is the first one on last week that we didn't get to. Miss Beth, do you want to address this next one?
Yes, Miss Kelly wrote in on our drop form program, said during one of the recorded training sessions while you were reviewing a closing disclosure, you mentioned the Bermuda Triangle. You did not elaborate, but said you would be willing to discuss it in the live forum. So here's the deal. Sometimes I don't always go into detail about some things that are the same on all of the files. The Bermuda Triangle is an area on page 5 of the closing disclosure. If I skipped it on one of the videos, you would have been able to find it on a previous video as well. Just trying to condense it a little more so your butts don't get numb while you're sitting there watching the videos, right? So the Bermuda Triangle is located on page 5 of the closing disclosure, Kelly. We talk about it a lot in live training classes. And I'm inviting you to come join us in a live training class so you can see what that is, what it looks like exactly. But it's the area that talks about the APR, the total amount of finance charges, and the total amount that will have been paid for that purchase or that refinance by the end of the term, 15, 30 years, whatever it is. Those are always really delicate areas to talk about with your signer. We're limited to explaining that by reading strictly the descriptions that are below those items. Never does it satisfy a signer. They want to stop and make a phone call. So this is an area where I call the Bermuda Triangle. You'll get sucked into it. You'll waste 15 minutes at the table. With your signer making a phone call, we just want to try and avoid that area. He should have, or she should have, reviewed that with her lender well before us getting there. So that's our Bermuda Triangle.
Miss Beth, if it's okay, I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone about fees on this job form that we got written in.
Okay.
Because we have so much to go through tonight, and I know a lot of you are here to see somebody win $1,000.
Exactly.
So these are 2 different questions, but they kind of coincide together. The first one is, how does a UPS store charge $20 for 1 notarial act? If you talk and ask the notary service, they say is $20 to notarize. Okay, and then along that same vein, we have another entry that, and I actually called this notary. It said that remote online notarization. It says, I was looking at my Oregon notary primer, and here's what it states: remote online notarizations. A notary may charge a fee not to exceed $25 per notarial act for remote online notarizations. Now I'm confused. I try to call them with 20 plus people waiting. Most of the signings I've been receiving are $50 to $80, not including time, travel time, or distance. I asked one other guy in Oregon, he could not give me a straight answer. Any help in this would be great. So let's talk about the UPS stores first. UPS stores are independently owned and operated. Some of them are groups of stores that are purchased. If you see them overcharging in your area, there is nothing you can really do except for, leave a review on their site on that particular location. Let the community know that they're overcharging for notarizations. Some UPS stores try to put in a location fee on their, I know that's what they do in Arizona. It's going to differ per region within every state. So it's hard to answer, but you can also report it to the Secretary of State. They are not allowed to charge more for a notarization, especially if the person walks in the door. So that is your answer on UPS stores or any other kind of independent third-party notary. If they have a physical location, they can't charge all these fees when they walk through the door that I'm aware of. Now, let's get into the signings that come out by text message. For any new notaries that are entering in the industry, signings are, you're not being paid per notarization. And this is something that I see some notaries make big mistakes on when they go, oh, there's 12 notarizations in this package. Shouldn't that be X amount of dollars? No, you are being paid a signing agent fee. That means you are representing the title company. You are going to that person's home. Everything is included in that price. There are 2 ways to write those off on taxes. That's a whole nother video that we have on our YouTube channel. But you're being paid a signing agent fee, which means you're not charging the customer per notarial act when you are at that table. You are giving them a signing agent experience, which includes printing their documents, coming to them as a notary star, giving them a great general description of the document, guiding them to make sure that they sign it properly, making sure that that gets scanned back to the appropriate party, and then shipped out properly. That's an entire experience that you're providing for that flat rate. You get to decide if you want to take that job or not take that job. But you're not charging them per notarial act. Now, on general notary work, it works differently. Okay. You have to charge what your state allows. You can charge mileage. You can charge time in some states, but you have to go along what your state is allowing you to do. That is something that, if it was easy for Notary Stars to just say, this is what every single person across the country could do, boy, I would be making a mint right now. But it's really hard with 50 different states and 50 different changing laws across those 50 states. So I just wanted to kill those 2 birds with 1 stone. How'd I do on that, Miss Beth? Was that a good answer for both of them?
Yep, pretty awesome.
Perfect. We have you, Yvonne, up on the screen now, and I'll let you pick the next question on what might be the best one. Miss Yvonne, when you're ready.
Okay, so 2 questions. I got my first Old Republic title signing. I received one before, but it was canceled. And so I have one coming up in the upcoming week. Are there any words of wisdom specifically for Old Republic? I know you've said so many times that they're picky and they're just very specific. I don't want to miss anything.
Just make it clean as possible. Make sure you don't leave anything out. You don't forget to stamp. You do the signature lines, follow the instructions. They're just
And Miss Yvonne, I'll say this as well, because I think this is kind of really important to hear. Don't think so much about who the client is. Think so much about what your training has taught you and your comfortability with the documents. There might be a document formatted slightly differently, but you'll be able to read that title and understand. And I do this all the time. I work with so many different companies, and still I take notarizations from Ron. I don't go out in the field anymore because I'm chained to the desk. They don't let me leave at unlimited date. But I will tell you that sometimes I see documents that I have to read the first couple of sentences to kind of, oh, okay, yeah, this is what this is. And you never be afraid after training and understanding the documents to look down at the signer and say, you know what, I've actually never seen this formatted this way. We're going to look at it together. And you can take a look at it together and make sure that you are giving them the great gist of the document. If it's one or two documents along the way, that shows professionalism to say, hey, I've never seen it formatted this way or look this way. I'm going to take a deeper look and to make sure that we're on the same page.
Okay. Okay.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say, I've actually not seen it this way before.
And the signings on a Sunday, are they available on Sunday if there's an issue at the table?
There probably won't be unless the escrow officer is smart. Somebody please clip that and put that into a chat and promote that. Unless the escrow officer is smart, probably not.
I'll be calling you.
No,
I won't. Okay. And my last question, don't judge me. I've been doing this for almost 2 years, but it's a burning question and I've let it go for 2 years because I'm embarrassed to ask. But in the journal, I have the modern journal, the survey affidavit. Which document? There's a couple documents I think is the survey affidavit, but I never select that because I'm not sure which document specifically. Is that the one where it's really hard to stamp? Like there's the buyer and the seller and you go all the bottom and it's like a little tiny signature line and a little tiny
that's the affidavit of property value, and Arizona notaries are all shaking their head right now because that's our haunting document.
That's affidavit of property value, but that's not listed here, right?
It's not. They should have places where you can put other.
Okay, no, I constantly write affidavit of property value, but I was thinking in my head, maybe that's the survey affidavit. So what's the survey affidavit?
Survey affidavit's the document that says, hey, I haven't made any changes to the property that would require a new survey. So they're looking for new construction, new add-ons, putting a fence in, that sort of thing.
Is that the 5-question one where they have to initial?
It could be
say none on the line, none.
It could be titled literally anything, Yvonne. So it might not specifically, it might say owner's affidavit and only have 2 questions talking about survey. Then you'll know that's what that generic survey affidavit title is representing.
Okay, because I never select it because I don't know what document it belongs to.
I mean, if it has survey affidavit across the top, then you know to put it there. But I know that there are some companies that group the survey affidavit with other documents on the document, and it's not notarized. So the survey affidavit may not always be notarized.
Okay.
But I want to caution you as well, in Arizona, we're required to put a description of the document or the document title. And I'm going to say that you're always safe using the document title.
Okay. So, yeah, I literally write out almost like if it's not clearly one of these labels, I write it out. And I'm thinking to myself, that survey affidavit is probably a document that you're writing out every single time. And it's right there in front of you. But, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You bet. So Ronnie, I have a question for you very quickly because I saw it in the chat. They want to know if Notary Stars is a training platform. What is this? What is this? A platform, a signing service? What is this?
Oh, wow. Well, that's a 45-minute conversation, but if I only get 1 minute when we're trying to give away $1,000 tonight.
Right. 1 minute.
I started Notary Stars because I got absolutely sick of paying $5.95 for a cup of coffee every month for a platform that offered me no training and all a bunch of notary, hoopla, jumping through hoops to find information. I didn't want some guy calling me at 7:30 while I'm trying to buy my groceries to give me some kind of quiz to say on a website. Initially, it started out as a directory. Then as I grew Unlimited Ink Notary, my signing service, I needed to train notaries. I had partnered with Notary to Pro, but I needed more training because as we grew past buyers and refinances, I needed people who could close in a trust, people who could do reverse mortgages, people who could sign any type of loan. So I wanted to expand that training. So Notary Stars has evolved into from a directory to also a training platform where we are able to help notaries understand every type of loan product that they're coming in contact with. And as you grow your career, you will find out that you will not survive off refinances. Those are feast or famine. You will need to look for other products. And so I take pride in creating a platform that literally everything under the sun. And if we have never heard of it and we find out about it, we're making training on it. So That's Notary Stars in a nutshell, but we have a whole 45-minute video on the YouTube channel or before you sign up to tell you everything you get at Notary Stars, which there's a lot more.
Okay, job form question or gallery?
You know, I really wanted to get this one in. This one came from Terry Carswell, and I don't know if they're here tonight. Let me check. I don't see Terry Carswell here, but I think this one would go really great with the conversation. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but where did it go? It says, when doing a closing, I just say what the document is and show the client where to sign and date, and then go to the next form, make sure the client is who they say they are with the ID, make sure the notarial blocks are done correctly. Is that it? No,
Nope.
Terry. I'm sorry, but we do a lot more than that. Love you, but I'm glad that you wrote this question in because it is something that I'm very passionate about at Notary Stars. First of all, that was written out of order because the very first thing we do is verify the signer's ID. There's no reason to take the signing will ever take place unless we verify the signer's ID, make sure they're coherent, willing to sign. But yes, as a signing agent, you remember we wear 2 hats. We have the notary hat, where if we're doing general notary work, we don't describe the documents. But if we're a loan signing agent or a signing agent going out on an assignment, they're hiring us to be a representative for their company. That's when we go over the documents. We don't just state a gist. We know where information is. So if they ask questions, we can locate those answers within the documents and say, here's your answer. We are not really allowed to answer the documents, but I assure you, if you know the documents like the back of your hand, like we teach here at Notary Stars, you're able to locate 99.9% of the questions within the documents quickly to show them, oh, this is the answer that you're looking for. Sometimes you're a babysitter for the title company. Sometimes you're a babysitter for your signer. And yes, we make sure the notarial blocks are done correctly, but we also make sure the signer signs correctly, which is so often the case of mistakes for notaries is they didn't sign properly. Ms. Beth, do you have anything to add to that?
No, except maybe that there really isn't a title company or a lender out there that wants a point and sign notary.
No.
They definitely want someone who knows their stuff, who can guide the signer, who doesn't have to call them every 10 minutes during a signing asking a question. It doesn't mean that you won't do that when you first start out, but hopefully you'll call your hiring party first, not the title company or the lender, right? But even with that, our most of us, when we get into the loan signing side of the business, we are required to take the National Notary Association signing agent certification. Not that you're going to learn much in that process. And yes, I said that on camera. They mostly school you or tutor you on signing agent code of conduct. So actually learning loan signing process, you're not going to learn there, but it's still a requirement. In that code of conduct, it says you are required to give a brief description of the document. So no, you don't just recite the title and show them where to sign. You must give them a brief description on the documents.
Yeah, guys, and I'm sorry, I'm going to use this as a minute because we have 158 people on the call, and I want to use this as a moment to get the word out so that you guys can spread the word. Please, there are people on YouTube right now saying, oh, this is so easy. Just make $250 a signing, grab a stamp. They just want your money. They just want your money, okay? I didn't make Notary Stars such a low price every month so that notaries could continue with their education and thrive in the industry and strive for signing agent excellence, which is how you're going to make that good money that they're talking about. You literally have to realize that when you take a signing, whether a signing service hires you or title direct, you're representing someone's book of business. And if you give that signer a bad experience and then their realtor says, I'm never bringing my clients to your title company again, you have not only created a blacklist for yourself, but you have ruined someone else's life. Signing agents are not point and sign, and I don't care who out there, send them to me. My phone number is 602-525-5407. Send them to me and I will tell them that we are not point and sign notaries. Okay. Everybody write it down, send them to me. I'm going to put it on YouTube tomorrow because signing agents are not point and sign notaries. And there will be people say, well, in certain states, notaries are not allowed to go over documents. We have said earlier in this episode, general notary work, we don't go over documents, but a signing agent does because we're representing a title agency. We're an extension of their desk. We are helping them close that loan transaction. It's a completely different type of notarization. Well, not a type of notarization. It's a different type of transaction that we're doing. So when you are operating as a loan signing agent, you are to help go over the documents. And when you can't find the answers in the documents, which you should know where they're at, then you call your assigning party chain of command. If that's a signing service, great. If that's direct title, even better. You call those parties.
All righty.
Spread the word.
Yeah. So hand up. D'Angela, is your arm getting tired, hon? You can put your hand down and ask your question.
Okay. Thank you, Ronnie and Beth. I wish I knew about Notary Stars before I paid that other money because I've learned so much in the short time I've been with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you are a well-kept secret in the notary world. A lot of people still don't know about the Notary Stars.
Well, please tell them.
But I'm passing the word because
Okay.
it helped me. You have helped me and you continue to help me. I just wanted to know how you would handle this this situation. On September 28th, I dropped 2 packages off at the UPS store. On the next day, Friday, the client still had not received their overnight packages. As of today, only 1 had received their package. 1 went to North Carolina, 1 went to Florida. So I've spent most of my day after the closing trying to pack and get satisfaction for the title company in Florida. And I ended up having asked to go back and have the client re-sign the seller's documents again. And then she wanted to send me a label to send it back by UPS. And I told her I refused to use UPS, that I would go to FedEx, drop it at the FedEx, and the package would be there by 10 tomorrow morning because they needed the documents by tomorrow. I was dealing with the title company back and forth. She was very pleased with the help, but the signing service, it's like they just disappeared. They sent me one question, what's the status? Mm-hmm. And that was it. How would you have handled that?
First of all, I would really love to know the name of that title company because I'll have their business tomorrow if they just disappear. Because first of all, we had recently, just on Friday, a notary who she shipped within the time she had her drop receipt. Mm-hmm. It's not on you at that point. Now, something as a signing service, and if you notaries that are growing your business into a signing service want to take this approach to it, I do call UPS store. I do call the store and I let them know, like, hey, we have a package that's done. Because these title officers, I mean, they're no different than you and I. We're just giving them customer service in order to call the store. If you have your drop receipt and you dropped before the cutoff and you have proof of that, if it's 1 minute to cutoff, don't try to stand on that leg. But if it's 30 minutes before cutoff and you know it's not the time of the store closing, but the cutoff time, you're golden. You're off the hook. It's out of your hands.
Right.
If they want you to re-sign, you should charge a fee because you did your diligence. You sent it back. You know, that's not on you. I would charge my clients actually for a re-sign. If I can prove here's the store's website, here's the cutoff time for drop, and here's my shipping receipt. Then, you know, if you did it for free, I'm not saying you did, but if you did, that's customer service. I'm never going to say not customer service. You're face off when it comes to, you know, doing good business. But if you've done your part, it's really on UPS and they should think about their carriers. That's 2 packages. It could also be the location that you dropped at. I've had times where I've dropped them and I had 3 packages for Amrock years ago and they called me and they're like, one after the other, because they never look at it like, hey, Ronnie has 3 packages. It's all individual orders for them. I got 3 individual calls, like, and then I wound up going to the location where I dropped, and the UPS store owner, which I have a receipt for, said, you know, I started helping this person, and I remember I set them right here, and I never put them in the bucket. And that was, I was like, well, you need to write an email, and here are the order numbers you need to explain. But after you've done your part, you get to decide, should I charge, should I not? And, you know, then you can still be polite. Well, you know, ma'am, I've already signed them. I shipped them. I have proof. I would need another signing fee to go back out, because if you don't do it, they're still going to have to pay someone else.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to be rude to the clients. You can politely explain that to them.
Yeah. I, excuse me. I ended up calling UPS.com, which kept telling me the package was still at the original site. But of course it was gone, because all of their packages were gone for the next day. And I ended up just redoing the signing, because it was a senior, and, you know, she was getting real nervous. So I went back and did it for her. I did it, as you said, I did it as a customer service, because I didn't see a need to just send someone out when this was maybe like 5 minutes from my home. So I just wanted to know how you would have handled it, which is the way I handled it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, and thank you for sharing that experience with us today.
Thank you.
Ms. Beth, any comments on that or anything?
A couple of other people in the chat have had a similar experience, and I kind of applaud D'Angela for going back out and doing it gratis, just as a customer service flag, setting her flag in the ground. That's going to be a title company that'll come back to you, D'Angela, for sure.
And that's really what it's about. Miss Beth, I'm going to read one off the jot form. It's not along the same vein, but very similar. We had a notary that said that they had just had the worst seller closing at the table. This was actually today. And it was actually for Unlimited Ink Notary. I removed it from the chat, but I decided I'd go ahead and share that. It says the problem was that the signer was extremely friendly and talking about their 50th birthday party while they were getting ready for the afternoon, and telling me all the things that they were doing. I was talking, he was talking to me while I was trying to complete part of filling out the forms and the notarizations, and it was very, very distracting. So my question is, how can I kindly ask someone to stop talking so I can focus? This is a really great question, and Ms. Beth, I'm sure you've definitely had this experience at the signing table as well. I'd love to hear your take on it before I give my take on it.
Well, first of all, you got to be able to split your brain. You will get used to that once you're comfortable with your job and your scripts and your position, to be able to listen and kind of comment as you're trying to finish up what you're doing. But that comes with experience. The other thing would be the way to politely shut them up long enough for you to think through what you're doing would be just say, give me just a second here. I need to finish this. Okay, go. Always go back to them and let them know it's fine. You can continue with your story, because otherwise they're going to feel like you just shut them down and didn't care. And we don't want to leave them with that impression. So just say, give me just a second. Let me finish this and this. And okay, we're good. Go. Whatever way you can do it, that is, you have to read your table too. You know, some of them you're not going to be able to shut them up. Give me just a second and they're still talking. But try to find a way to give yourself some headspace long enough to make sure you're doing your job correctly. And I'm going to throw this in. Don't leave that table until you go through all of your documents to make sure you didn't miss anything.
I agree with that so wholeheartedly. My take on it is I have no shame. So I have ADHD. That's why I run several companies really well, because I get bored and jump between different ones. If you've ever been on the phone with me, you know what should be 5 minutes takes 45, and that's okay, because I'll take you down a road. I see a lot of people shaking their head. But I want to let you know that it's okay to tell someone like, this is really important documentation that we have to do right now. And I'd love to talk to you after. I'll give you my phone number. You can call me after 6:30. We can talk about it. I'm a little less candid when it comes to those things, because I always tell people, listen, if I don't do this right, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. And that's honest. If I don't do this properly, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. And usually that makes people be quiet. I had one instance, and I've used this several times. It was not that long ago. I had a guy who kept getting up to go play Nintendo with his daughter. Like, he would like pause the game or go back. And I actually told him, I said, sir, if you get up from the table one more time, I'm going to have to commence the signing and you're not going to get your loan. I have a finite amount of time to get this loan done. And we are really up against that wall now. And he sat down and finished out the loan. I just let him know, like, I can't, you know, I was back-to-back signings. It was actually right as COVID was coming about, and I was just doing so many of them, and I could not take that extra 15-20 minutes. So I just let him know, like, sir, if you get up from the table one more time, I actually think I said, I love that you love your daughter so much and you want to do this while you're playing with her, but we have to finish this or you're not going to get your loan, because I cannot wait any longer. And so his wife kind of smirked at me a little bit, like, thanks. And he sat down and finished signing the paperwork. So sometimes you just have to take charge, but politely take charge.
So we're at 5:41, Mr. Mickle. We've got a ton more jot forms and 5 hands up. Where do you want to go?
I think that we should do some of the hands on the screen, as many as we can, because we've only got a few minutes before we need to show the videos and then do the giveaway. You know, Miss Lorena should be next.
Go ahead, Lorena, if you want to unmute and ask your question.
Hello. So I do have a quick question, and it goes along with the fees. And I probably replied to some of your guys's text messages. I'm in rural Florida. I'm 30 miles from Panama City. I'm 30 miles from Chipley, Florida, and I'm 30 miles from Mariana. The only FedEx location in my area that will give you a drop receipt is in Panama City area. So when I get a package, whether it's $60 or $25 or whatever it is, when I reply to the comments, I will usually say, hey, the only FedEx drop location is an hour or 45 minutes or an hour and a half from this location, because that's how far it is. I usually don't get the job because I'm not going to take it for $65 if I have to drive all the way down an hour from the signing just to get to the FedEx. So how do you, because I've replied to several different companies, signing agencies and different things through the services, how would you reply to something like that when there's not a FedEx drop location other than, you know, there's plenty of CVS's, there's plenty of Walgreens, there's Dollar Generals every 15 miles up here out in the rural area. But to get a drop receipt, it's only in Panama City area. And then for UPS, other than Panama City, it's like 45 miles to the next, 45 to 60 miles to the next UPS store. So
are you sure?
I don't understand how to,
Are you sure that they're asking for FedEx
yes.
drop off?
I have, when I reply to them, when I reply to the things, you can get it. Oh, Laura said something. When I reply to the comments, I always let them know that that's where the FedEx and the UPS is. And that's why I'm asking for a specific fee. It's not that I'm saying, hey, I only want this fee if it's a FedEx. Well, I am saying that if it's a FedEx because I know how far it is, and then other things, but I just don't know how to reply to some of these. That way I can still get the job and not lose out, because I can't print a whole bunch of pages and go and spend 2 hours at a signing and have another hour to FedEx to make that drop.
So here's what I would suggest.
And get that drop receipt form. So
Here's what I would suggest is, and I use this in my marketing class a lot, where I say, take screenshots of who's actually sending you orders and the ones that you don't get. And if that's a turn off to them, start accepting the orders. And then if let them know the only drop within a certain amount of time is that Dollar General. And if they don't want you to use it, which nobody does, they will pay you more to go to that location. But just be like, I can't go that far for that. I'm sorry, this is a rural area. We at Unlimited Ink all the time pay notaries to go a little bit farther to drop when they let us know. So it's on the signing service, but you can secure the business. You can do that notarization. You can take it to the closest drop. That's a legitimate pickup drop. It's not your fault if you drop it and they don't pick it up. Now, if you somebody posted in the chat, you can get a drop receipt from UPS and CVS Pharmacy. I believe you might be able to get a drop receipt from, if it's a drop box, you can't get a drop receipt, but you can take a photo of the drop box and let them know, like, hey, I can do this within 10 miles and that's it. And, you know, you have to let them know when you take the order, when you review the order, if it turns out to be a FedEx, you have to let them know right away. Like, you know, I would communicate right away. I need to know if this is FedEx or UPS. If it is FedEx, this is, you know, what needs to be added for me to proceed with the order. Because they're probably just overlooking and not really reading your comments. I have to tell you, lots of signing agencies just lay back and kick their feet up and let signing order, SnapDocs, and ZigZig do most of the work, unlike Unlimited Ink, where we're fully staffed and looking at those things for the notaries and helping the notaries out with it. Sometimes the notary needs to kind of get them under your wing, maybe do it first time for them, let them know, like, hey, going forward, this is me. And they make notes. Some of the good ones will put notes on your account. Like, we have notes when we assign a notary that says, hey, Lorena's in a rural area, FedEx won't work here. When you assign her, make sure that you check her fees, you know, that she's being compensated. We put notes on your account like that, and it pops up before the scheduler actually assigns you. So I would use those that kind of tactic, especially if you're missing signings. Did that help you out, Ms. Lorena?
Yeah, I'm missing quite a few signings. I said, yeah, I'm missing quite a few signings because I won't take them for, I won't say chump change because I don't want to insult anybody, but that's how it feels when you got to drive an hour to the signing and then it's another hour to an hour and a half back to the drop location and whatnot. So just how long it takes to do the signings and then to drive that extra distance. Even if it's a signing that's 8 miles from me, this is why I'm bringing it up, because I don't know, it might have been me that responded to you with the triple digit or something. I don't know, but there was one that came through from Unlimited Ink this week. I may not have even replied to it, or I might have said I was busy because I had other things going on this week, a lot of things. But even if it's 8 miles from me, you know, it's still that long distance to go to the FedEx or the UPS location. So I was just trying to figure out how to reply to several different signing agencies or companies and let them know, hey, I don't mind doing it for you. I can do it, but I need a little bit higher fee. So I know that there's some signing services that I'll take this assignment. I'll be like, oh my gosh, there was a witness, and then they'll give me a higher fee for that. But I've never asked once I've accepted for a signing, because when I first started doing this, I was accepting different assignments and then realizing, oh my gosh, it takes me this long to drive to drop these papers. So I've never re-asked for a higher fee for that. And I don't want to take assignments and then have to say, oh, well, I need a higher fee for this, because I don't want to be that way. But
well, some of them
I'll look into what you're saying now.
For sure, before you accept it. To negotiate on the text. And I think Ronnie's right. If they know exactly why you're asking for the higher fee and it's a legitimate fee, then it should be fine. You should at least have a shot at it.
Okay.
So thank you so much for your question. We do have to move on. Mr. Ronnie, do you vote for Ashley?
We are actually going to have to move into the giveaway.
Okay.
And I want to start pinning people on the screen.
Yep, we've got 164 notaries anxiously waiting to see who's winning that $1,000.
Yeah, let me get all of us pinned really quick, Miss Beth. And while we're doing that, the way that this would work best for me is if you called off the names, and I went to their video, because what we want to do is show their video. Let's see.
So we need
Manuel, you're driving, buddy, so you better pull over because we're about to give away $1,000 and it could be you.
Rod Tallman.
Thank you. I'm going as fast as I can, getting them pinned up here. And if you guys are getting pinned, please turn on your cameras. It is a part of winning. So Nancy, you better get that camera on.
Yeah, Nancy Fisher.
I should have just left her up there because she.
So what we had was a social media challenge, guys. Each of these notaries, all notaries, were tasked with creating a social media short clip and getting 100 social media likes by a certain date. Those 100 likes on their social media post then gave them the golden ticket into the drawing. That's where we're at now. So Mr. Mickle's pinning up all of the finalists. We actually have 6 finalists.
We have, who am I missing here?
Lorena Wilson.
Got her up here.
Kirsten.
And
I don't see those pins, so, but
okay.
Rod Tallman.
Rod's up here. Nancy, Manuel.
So we've got 5.
All right, so those are all of the finalists here. We've got them pinned on the screen, but everybody can give their little waves or everything for everybody. Tonight, we are giving one of them $1,000. Miss June did decide to not be a part of the contest because, and where did Manuel go? Because he was supposed to be on the screen as well. I don't see him into the signing, but Miss Beth, you're clicking the reel. So when you are ready, you can spin that wheel.
All right, guys, everybody do this. Cross your fingers, both of them. If you've got toes that are flexible, I'm sure there's a couple of entries that would appreciate that too. Here we go, guys.
Oh, let's get that screen unshared. I want to see her face. There we go. There we go. I want to see you jumping up and down, Miss Christie.
Oh my gosh, $1,000, girl.
And I believe it or not, Miss Christie was the last person to enter.
Yep.
She was the last one that entered the contest. So congratulations, Miss Christie. We'll have that check out to you tomorrow. You won't have to remind me. Travis and I have been talking about, oh God, we got to go with $1,000 all day. But we'll make sure that we get that to you tomorrow. Listen, guys, the people on the screen here took a moment of their life to make a video for Notary Stars. We are going to be doing this contest again, and I'm going to be sending out an email in the next day or two. Everybody that's on the screen is more than welcome to do it again. But here's why we started this initiative to do it. We want you guys to get comfortable on camera, marketing yourselves. We started with asking for a commercial of Notary Stars. We're going to change it up next time. We're going to ask you to do 2 commercials, one for Notary Stars and one for yourself that we're going to post on the Notary Stars channel. And I'm actually going to teach a class this time. If you need help creating social media reels, I'm going to teach a special private course just for everybody who would like to attend to register for it. If you already know how to do it, great. But I'm going to teach a little class. As you can see, nobody here was, like the wow video. I mean, there were some that were like great. There were some that were just brave. I loved every single one of them. And so did the people following Notary Stars. And so will the people that are following you. But you are going to have to learn to use social media. And this is not about getting a commercial for Notary Stars, although I love getting one. It's not about getting a commercial for Notary Stars. It's about getting you comfortable using that phone in that social media window that you should be using. Right now, people are dominating the internet searches talking about notaries making 6 figures when you should be dominating talking to your local clients about your business. And that's why we're going to change this contest up. So next contest, which will be within this year, we are going to offer $1,000 as the grand prize, a dual tray printer as the second prize, and a ES 500 scanner, the one that I love so much, as the third prize. One person will not be able to win all of that. Of course, the grand prize winner can buy both of them and have some change left over, but we will have 2 prizes that you guys can buy for. So I'll be sending that email out soon, but I'm going to unpin everybody really quick. And I'd like to do our signature wave. So if you could get your cameras turned on while I'm removing these pins. Congratulations to Miss Christy Rudd out of Washington. And thank you to everybody who took a moment to make one of these videos. And I'm gonna get almost all of them unpinned. We'll leave Miss Christy up last so that she can give us all a good wave. This is our winner for tonight. Congratulations, you won $1,000, girl. I'm like so excited. Do you want to say anything, Miss Christy? Do you want to? I see you got your earpods in. Let's see if you. I'm trying to get you unmuted there. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay.
He is unmuted.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to...
Okay, can you hear me?
There you go.
There you are.
Yes, thank you so much. Ronnie, I can stop by your house because I'm actually in Phoenix right now.
Oh, wow. I actually, now that you say that, I recognize how long are you going to be here? Oh, and she just broke up. There you go. How long are you going to be here?
Until Friday.
Yeah, well, let's make it a point to get together.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can print the check for you.
Awesome.
You can stay a little longer with $1,000.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I know how hard everybody else worked on theirs too. So
yeah, I have to say you were the last one to submit, and yet you had submitted like right on the wire too.
I did. Yes, there was a lot of procrastination. I was a little scared to do it, a little something I wasn't used to, but I pushed through.
Yeah, and now you have $1,000.
And now I know how to do something that I didn't do before. So it's great. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so happy for you. By the way, I want to mention this. You are part of a group, a notary group. And if you are a part of a notary group, I would love to see a notary group enter the contest next. So you guys could actually make a video promoting all of your group up in Seattle. I'd love to see you be one of the first entries coming through next time. And inspire other notaries to create their notary group videos, because guys, we have to start dominating the internet searches, talking about our businesses, and stop letting people talk about us. So Miss Christy, I'm so happy that you're the winner tonight, and thank you. And yes, reach out to me, remind me on email that you're in Phoenix, and let's find time. What part of town are you in?
I'm staying in Scottsdale, but right now I'm at the Seahawks bar because we've got Monday Night Football going on right now.
Okay,
so go Hawks.
We'll have to go get a burger. Yeah,
at Henry Weinberger. You told me that was the best one.
Harvey Weinberger.
Let's do it.
All right. Send me an email. Make sure I remember that you're in there.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Let's get those cameras turned on. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight and being here a part of Notary Stars. I want to see everybody's cameras on. Somebody just won $1,000. We need to give them big waves. And listen, if you are not naked and you are not stuffing your face right now, turn on those cameras, wave to yourself if you come back and watch the replay, wave to Miss Christy and congratulate her, wave to those future notaries who are going to come back and watch the replay and learn at the very first part of this video all the things that we had to do tonight. I'm going to scroll through, and Miss Beth, how do we really say it? And look, I'm on page 2. I want to see all those cameras on. If you don't have a great excuse, get those cameras on. We don't care if you're naked. Just point the camera up towards your face. All right, guys. Miss Beth, how do we really say it here at Notary Stars?
We topped out at 164 notaries. That tells me you guys are dedicated. Everybody is trying to get somewhere, and this is all about how we get there together, guys. So just remember to reach back, grab the hand of another notary, and take them along the journey with you. Ronnie said it. He quoted somebody else, but he said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody. Thank you all for spending your evening with us.